Hi there.
Hi everyone, hello.
Everyone's on mute when they join, just to let you know.
We were just commenting on how everyone's name seems to begin with S, apart from mine and Emma. All the S's. How's everyone doing? Good.
Okay. You can unmute.
I'd like the sun to come back again.
Oh, is it cloudy up there? Oh, we've got a bit of sun down here. I think it's supposed to be sunny again at the weekend.
Good.
Where are you, Sonia?
In Leeds.
Oh, in Leeds. Okay.
Yeah.
I had some family who lived up in Lincolnshire, and they said that there just seemed to be sort of a white cloud cover sort of most of the year, where it was sort of sunny down south. They would always.
It's not that bad up
not
north.
That bad. Well, they ended up moving to Spain, so I think they are.
Fair enough.
Hi everyone. As we're waiting for other people to join, we're hoping later to perhaps have some time just to raise any questions to your peers, to each other in this call. Any questions or concerns or things that you might just want to sort of voice. So maybe just have a think while we're waiting for people to join, whether you do have any burning questions or things you might want to raise later. And we'll just wait a few more minutes just to give people a chance to come in.
Lots of new faces. That's great. Don't know everyone.
Hi, Ren.
Morning, everyone.
Hi, Ren.
Sorry, did you say to put questions in the chat now or save them for later?
Just save them for later. Maybe just have a think if something you want to raise a bit later.
Okay.
Great. We'll just wait another minute or so in case someone else is joining. Yeah.
Hi, Ian.
Okay. So are you okay to keep an eye out in case someone else joins?
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
Great, thank you. So, hello everybody. Thank you for joining. This is I think my second coordinator catch up. I'm quite new to the SFP team, and this session, as I'm sure you know, is just a chance to get together and to meet each other. We've got sort of about an hour if we need it. It's also an opportunity to share what else is happening in the network, what's happening in the SFP team. It's going to be a fairly relaxed one today, I think. We've not got sort of lots of presentations or anything, so I'm hoping that we'll have a chance at the end to raise any questions to the network, to each other, for peer support. So if you want just to give it a little bit of thought as to whether you've got something you want to raise here today to kind of seek support from each other, or perhaps we can sort of signpost you to somewhere if you have a particular question. And as I am quite new, there's also a lot of new faces. I think on the last coordinator catch up, there were quite a few people that said they were new to Post or a new partnership. I thought it'd be a really great idea just to go around and introduce ourselves. Yeah, and perhaps just sort of share something that we're doing at the moment, or something that we're particularly proud of, that's happening for us at the moment. So after the introductions, we'll also be hearing from Kemi in the Lambeth Food Partnership. She's not with us at the moment, I don't think. Oh, hello, Sophia.
I'll be speaking instead.
You're there instead, brilliant.
Like that. Yeah,
do you have a presentation you want to actually share? Yeah. Brilliant. Okay, we'll make sure you can share that. Thank you. And so Safia is going to present on the Sugar Smart program that they're working on. And then, as I said, I hope we sort of have time then to talk about anything that might be burning for you and that you want to raise in the group. So we'll start just by going round and introducing ourselves. So I think your name, the food partnership you're from, and an achievement that you're proud of. And it might be a project that you're working on, it might be that you cleared your inbox, or that you got some funding. You know, it can be anything at all. I'll start and then hopefully we can sort of pass it on to each other. So I'm Alex. It's really nice to see you all. As I said, I'm quite new. So there's a lot of new faces for me today. I work for Food Matters, which is one of the partners in the Sustainable Food Places programme. And the thing I'm feeling good about at the moment is a sort of a communications and social media plan that I'm putting together that I've been working on for a while. And I feel like I've reached a good place with that. So I'm feeling good about that. And I'm going to pass on to Emma.
Hi, I'm Emma. I'm the coordinator at Food Newcastle. I've been in post about 6 months now, so don't think I can class myself as new anymore. Something I'm quite proud of is, since I started, really, I've been working on developing the website and trying to make it a bit more public facing, and it's in quite a good place right now, so I'm quite happy with that. I'll pass on to Sarah.
Is that me? I'm just checking how many Sarahs there are. There's always more than one usually, but it's me. Yeah, hi, I'm Sarah. I work for Food Matters as part of the Sustainable Food Places team, and our role is generally supporting setup and development of food partnerships across the UK. Thinking about what I'm particularly proud of at the moment is actually not quite related to my Food Matters role, but as well as being in Food Matters, I'm a director of Bristol Food Network. And yesterday we had a really good meeting where Bristol's sort of about to apply for the Gold Award for Sustainable Food Places. And so it was our final meeting before we submit our Gold Award, and there was just like this massive, amazing sort of like feeling of phew, we've got there. And you know, we're just finishing the final editing on the text and things like that, and it just felt like, yeah, it's a massive achievement potentially to get to the point where you can actually submit that. So it just felt like a really celebratory moment yesterday, and I haven't quite got over it yet, so I'm still talking about that. I'll pass on to Nina.
Finding unmute when you're not prepared for it. Thank you.
Sorry.
Yeah, I'm Nina Oswald from Good Food Oxford. Probably later this year, Good Food Oxfordshire. And I'm proud of so normally in autumn we run Oxfordshire Pumpkin Festival, and this year we're extending it into spring when the pumpkins and squashes start growing. And I've just, and a lot of it literally physically distributed 8,000 squash seeds all over Oxfordshire, which is really great fun and a great starter also for engaging new network members. If you have something to give away for free, even if it's a tiny bag of seeds, it's amazing how much of a difference that makes. Yeah, thank you. And I'll pass on to Sophie.
Hi everyone, I've got horrible construction noise in the background, so if it becomes a pain, let me know. Sophie here from Food Plymouth, working as coordinator alongside Ian, who's also here today. And something that I'm really pleased to be working on at the moment is around engagement with local election candidates, so that's quite exciting. Thank you.
Thanks, Sophie. Who do you want to pass to?
Yes, sorry, I'm going to pass on to Sue.
Hi, I'm Sue from the Brecon Beacons and Monmouthshire partnership. We're very new, just getting started, and I think the achievement is really to have got this far, to get started. We're identifying stakeholders, and we'll be holding our first meeting in the next few weeks, so that feels like a big step. Great, okay, I will pass on to Ollie.
Hi, I'm Ollie. I'm new in role, and I'm actually working across 2 food partnerships in a bit of a support role. So I'm with Good Food in Greenwich and Good Food Lewisham. So 2 boroughs side by side, both completely different in their approach in certain ways. So I'm learning very quick. I think my biggest thing is I've only been in role a few weeks, and I'm already on top of the social media and increasing the reach and everything else. And I think that's good. That I'm pleased with that for a few weeks. So hello everyone. I'll pass on to Ren.
Thanks, Ollie.
Thanks, Ollie. Ren, I'm also part of the Sustainable Food Places team based at Sustain. And the thing I'm proud about, we have a brilliant Eco Talent intern, which is a paid internship scheme to support young people get into kind of this sector of work. And Amy's been supporting with the Good to Grow Day celebrations, which are happening this weekend, which is to support community food growing spaces, which have obviously been just vital this year to supporting communities. And we were kind of apprehensive this year because obviously we don't want to encourage. Usually is a time where we encourage lots of community growing spaces to bring new volunteers and have a big kind of digging session, but obviously that's a bit different this year, so we were apprehensive as to whether people get involved, but there are 80 gardens that have signed up, which is really exciting. So just a bit of a plug as well, but that's kind of what I'm proud of. And I will pass to Sonia.
Super. Hi, I'm Sonia from Foodwise Leeds, and I've been in post since 2017, so I've been around a while, I guess. I'm excited about 2 things today, actually, so I'm going to break the mold here. Firstly, we're having delivered 2 little veg libraries, which we've had built. This is where people can exchange seeds and seedlings and then surplus veg. So they should hopefully maybe going out this weekend for the Good to Grow weekend. If not, it'll be next weekend. The other thing I'm really excited about is this afternoon we're hosting our 2nd workshop on building food resilience. We're building a toolkit, and so this is our 2nd workshop to gather all the information together. So that's really exciting as we're making great steps forward with that. I'm going to pass on to Ellie.
Hi everyone. So I'm Ellie. I'm from Sustainable Merton. And I work as the projects and campaigns coordinator. I guess one thing I'm quite, I don't know if proud is the right word, but recently I've been trying to connect with a lot of community gardens and allotments, and it's great to see that so many people are getting involved with just these emerging little gardens. They've seen little plots, and I've just been going around meeting these people, and the hope is that through Sustainable Merton we can support them and also link them together, so you know, so that you can share ideas and share kind of plants and things as well. So that's something I'm quite proud of and excited about, the enthusiasm around community gardening at the moment, especially now we're well into spring. So that's me. I will pass on to Joe. Yeah.
Morning all. Joe from.
Oh, you're a bit quiet.
Yeah, no, that was because I was on some training yesterday and I didn't need to speak, but I needed to hear. So yes, hi, Joe from Middlesbrough Food Partnership. and I'm also the coordinator for the Food Power Alliance here as well. Similarly to Sonia, been in post for a few years now. I think, yeah, 2017 was a similar time when I joined and became part of things. Thing that I'm most proud of at the moment, it seems just kind of seem to be developing stronger kind of partnerships and, you know, working with a range of partners. And it seems that lots more stuff is happening in a very much joined up, holistic kind of way, which is just fantastic, is what we want and what we advocate for. And you get pockets and then nothing it all seems to be disjointed. Now it seems to be coming back together again. And where our kind of the food partnership is becoming more kind of right in the nitty gritty of things, which is fantastic. When you kind of, you know, all the mess of COVID and everybody going, oh, we've got to do stuff, and then they just go off and do it. But now things are starting to kind of be a bit more joined up and a bit more sensible, for want of a better term. So yes, that's me. Passing over to Florence.
Hi everyone, thanks. I'm Florence. I have recently been working for the Bristol team in public engagement, but have left that team now. But though I am looking forward to hopefully celebrating a gold award with them in the summer. But I'm now working with Birmingham, and we're sort of at the start of our Sustainable Food Places journey. There's lots of exciting stuff going on. And at the moment, we're working on a series of dialogues over the summer, which will also be feeding into our food strategy, which hopefully we'll be publishing later in the year as well. So that's quite exciting. And I will pass on to, let me see if I can identify who hasn't been yet, Ian.
Okay, thanks very much. So yeah, I'm Ian Smith. I'm from Food Plymouth. I'm one of the core team members, not a coordinator, supporting Sophie's work, which is great. So it's great to be here. I've been around for 10 years within Food Plymouth, so it's a fairly long time and bashing away still. I think in terms of what we're particularly excited and proud about, Dr. Claire Pettinger, as some of you know, and myself and others are working on the Food Sequel, or Foods Equal, however you want to call it, food systems work with UKRI and the University of Reading. So that's really starting to get rolling now. So we'll keep you posted on that, and doubtless Sophie will keep you up to date with that. So brilliant to be here. Also working, of course, with, where's Rio gone? Rio's gone off again. That's a shame. We're working with the Devon team as well, where they're trying to do Sustainable Food Devon and putting a partnership together for that. So we're keen on that. But sadly, I think Rio's dropped off again. So that being the case, I'll go the other end of the country. And is Anna, are you there?
Hello, I'm here. I'm Anna from Whole Food Partnership. Good things this week. Our website got reinstated. It got hacked over a month ago, and we finally managed to get it back up and running today. So I'm very happy about that. And also, I've written to the 89 local election candidates in Hull around supporting a food charter and a food champion for the city, and we're working not charter, strategy for the city, and we're working with Hull City Council now to develop that food strategy. It's been taken a while to get there, but they've finally kind of said that they're willing to embark on that, so I'm very happy about that. And I'll pass on to Safia.
Hi, I'm Sophia. I'm with Lambeth Food Partnership. I'm very new to Lambeth Food Partnership, but I'm very proud because I've been talking to the Black Cultural Archives about doing a radio show about food in the Black community. So that's really exciting.
Who would you like to pass to, Safia?
Tejal. Yeah.
Thanks.
Thank you. I'm Tejal Lovelock, and I'm from Bucks Food Partnership, and I'm sort of not too new in post. I started in February and took over from Hannah, who I'm pleased to say has had a lovely little baby boy called Fenton Griffin. So we're really proud about that, but that's not my work. What I've been doing that I've been really proud of is working quite hard on our governance. And so we've drafted a a charter, and I presented that to our new interim steering group, and they were really happy with it. So that's something I can introduce to our new board of governors who I'm inducting this Friday. So yeah, and I'll pass to Pearl.
Oh, hey everyone, I'm Pearl Costello, coordinator at Food Cardiff. I'm just dropping in today. I've got to go about 10:30, so lovely to see everyone. Things that we're excited about. In the autumn, we supported groups across the city to run an autumn festival of cooking and growing and so on. And now the Edible Cardiff partnership of groups have sort of taken it on themselves to run a spring festival of growing. So that launched at the weekend. So that's going to be 6 weeks of activities happening. So it's really nice to see it all going on. And I will pass to, Sophia, Parente rather than Sophia.
Hi, good morning, everyone. I'm also a member of the Sustainable Food Places team. I'm campaigns and policy coordinator at Sustain, and I work with Ren and Vera. I know most of you, but it's good to see new faces. You close your eyes and there's new coordinators, new places joining. Really good to meet you. Can I say 2 things? Veg Cities. We just got final reports from 9 places that have done Veg Cities campaigns locally. And even though we gave them the possibility of spending partially or totally the money on responding to the food emergency last year, I was so pleased that the majority adapted their plans and continued to campaign in a renewed format. There was a lot of focus on growing our own, increasing the uptake of Healthy Start, supporting what is locally grown. So I'm really proud of what has been achieved in a very challenging year on campaigns. And I'm also really proud and excited about developing a new food and climate campaign for Sustainable Food Places. And hopefully some of you will get involved more closely with this work. And the plan is to roll out a new campaign with the help of campaign grants later in the year, in the autumn. Yeah, that's it from today.
Thanks, Sophia. Who would you like to pass to? Oh, who would you like to pass to, Sophia?
I don't think we've heard from Gemma, but I got here a bit late.
Okay, yeah, maybe we'll start asking people to put their hands up if they haven't been for that reason. But over to you, Gemma.
Hi, I'm Gemma White. I work for the Doncaster Food Network. We used to be Good Food Doncaster. The thing that I'm really happy about at the minute is we've finally got our rebrand funded and it's been designed, and we're going to release that at our food festival in July.
Great, thank you. So so hands up who hasn't been yet, just to help Gemma out. So Sam, over to you. Oh, you're on mute still.
Yeah, sorry, I was pressing the space bar, but I was on a different tab, so it wouldn't. So, hi, I'm Sam from Winchester. So I've been in place about 2 years formally, and then sort of 6 months before that in a purely voluntary basis. Thing I'm most proud of, after 2.5 years, we've actually got the district council to include food into their procurement strategy. So it's been a long battle and lots of nods, but we've actually finally done it. So that's a big achievement. Who knows whether they'll abide by it, but at least it's written down in a policy somewhere.
Brilliant.
Over to
Desiree needs to
speak.
Yeah.
Hello everyone, good morning. Hi, I'm Desiree. Hi, I'm with Monmouthshire County Council. We're partners in the Developing Food Network with Our Food, which I'm sure you've heard from Sue, and our partners in the Beacons. I'm the food development officer for the local authority. So I suppose in some ways, Sam, we're pretty much, you know, integrated into that approach, the procurement and the food action. We've got a food action plan, which we're following at the moment. And as I say, we're helping coordinate the Sustainable Food Network. So a lot of things going on in food in our area, and I'm coming at it from a different sort of angle, really. So we don't have to battle with the authority because the authority is already there. So I think that's probably enough. We also partner on other food projects, perhaps I should just quickly mention. Local gardening projects, we coordinate growing in the community. We've only had one meeting, but we're having our second shortly. We've changed our direction in the authority as well to include food and food growing. Yeah, a lot going on, really.
Mm-hmm. Great, thank you. And Layla?
Hi everyone, I'm from Layla from West Northamptonshire Sustainable Food Place, which was recently registered. And I'm very happy that we are now kind of forming our subgroups with different themes. Yeah.
Brilliant. Oh,
I think it's just Mark Steen. Did you want to?
I think just Mark. I don't know if you were here when we were explaining what we're doing, but just who you are, where you're from, and something that you're proud of at the moment. And it might be a project or as simple as clearing your inbox. So whatever comes up.
Well, I'm somewhat stumped. So I've got my technology to work, which is something I'm proud of in its own right. Good Food Greater Manchester has been meeting since 2014. I think we're having a reappraisal of you know, what we want to do. And I think the existing chair has stood down, and we're going to elect a new chair. So it's a time of transition, one might say. What I'm proud of is we've got hedgehogs visiting the garden every night, and I think I've managed to mend the camera to photograph them after dark.
Brilliant, and a lovely one to end on. Thank you.
It's just to say Rio's rejoined.
Oh, Rio's back. Yeah. Brilliant. Thank you. Hi, Rio. If technology allows, do you want to say a quick hello? Sorry you're having trouble.
Hello. No, don't worry. It's just one of those things. I think once a week my laptop just decides to play up and not connect properly. Sorry, I'm a bit disorientated now because I've been in and out and in and out. I don't know what to talk about.
Where you're calling from?
So I'm calling from Devon Food Partnership in Devon. We're in the early stages of setting up the partnership at the moment, and just getting a comms plan together. So we've got a shiny new website and an email address so that everyone can contact us, and we can keep everyone in touch and updated on whatever the partnership is doing. And also we've sent invitations for our first interim steering group meeting.
Brilliant. Great, thank you. Oh, it feels really, what really stands out is just all the different stages in which your partnerships are at, and you know, some of the newness of actually just getting a website is brilliant, and others, you know, getting stuck into things. I just love the variety, and also the reminder that it is growing season again. It does not feel like a year ago that this was we were at this stage before, but really lovely to hear that it's spring and springing. So thank you for that, and really good to meet you all. I was just gonna do a very brief update from the SFP team. There is another round of campaign grants coming out at the end of this year. There's not a huge amount more detail than that at this stage, just that we're going to let you know a bit more of a locked down timeline this summer, but just to look out for campaign grants this sort of autumn, I believe. And And there's another update from Ren. I'm going to give you an opportunity just to talk about your event on Tuesday, Ren.
Fab. Yeah, sorry, it's fairly kind of last minute, and I did put it in the Rise Up, but I will do it again. Tuesday 10 to 11, I'm going to run a session, quite an informal session, just looking into government funding, recent kind of government funding that Rishi announced sort of early March, that potentially we could influence, all very up in the air, of course, Community Renewal Fund, Community Ownership Fund, Levelling Up Fund, and the Towns Fund. I've got a few speakers, so Power to Change are going to come and talk about community ownership of businesses, and Ian from the Bevy, which is a community owned pub in Brighton. We've got a councillor coming in to talk about how kind of potentially influence funding, and Pembroke House, which is a project in Southwark, which is working on sort of community wealth building through food. And the reason it's been put on quite last minute is because the Community Renewal Fund, which is potentially the one we can influence the most, it's a £3 million fund where areas can apply for up to 2 million, is the deadline for most local authorities is mid-May. So I wanted to just kind of get your brains in kind of thinking about this kind of ASAP really. So it's on, I'll put the link in the chat. I have reached out to a few of you, but I'll put the link in the chat and hope to see you there. And it's not just limited to food partnership coordinators. So if you did want to share with anyone in your network you think might find it useful, please do share. And I'll put it in the chat now. But yeah, do just private message me if you've got any questions, or email me. I'll also put my email in the chat. So that's probably me, Alex.
Brilliant. Thanks, Ren. It'd be great as well. A few of you mentioned you've got new websites. So it'd be really great if you could post the new website address in the chat as well. It'd be really nice to see those. Brilliant. So we're going to move over now to Safia from the Lambeth Food Partnership, who's going to talk to us about their Sugar Smart programme. So hopefully your co-host now, I hope you can share your screen. Technology, if technology allows. Yes. Brilliant. And I think you're on mute, just so you know. I can't hear you, Safia. I can see the screen. There we go. Brilliant.
Yeah. Okay, so we have started this program called the Wellness Through Food program. It's the Sugar Smart program, but we've kind of adapted it to be more of its purpose in our community. So it started in March and ends in June. So what is it? It's a 12-week food and wellbeing program. So we've extended it to wellbeing as well. And it covers 3 kind of main areas: community, education, and mindfulness. The aims we're about to go into are the same as the Sugar Smart project. We just kind of like structured it in this way. So community, so there's a focus on community, and there's monthly group dinners, and there's a research project that each participant does on food and wellbeing in community. So it gets them kind of the autonomy to kind of choose what areas they're interested in and what they want to learn about. So education, so we have practical cooking sessions every week. They have support getting their level 2 food hygiene certificate and basic nutrition and healthy eating workshops. And we also have a mindfulness element. So we support them developing a personal wellness plan, and we're partnered with a therapist who does mindfulness and wellbeing workshops. So those are all kind of related to food as well. So the relation to food and wellbeing. So our vision, we want to put tools to build sustainable community food projects and personal practices that support people and planet. So we've kind of taken it one step further, and we want to kind of train them to be food champions, so that they can take the Sugar Smart ideas and take it back to their community, feed it back into their communities. So a few of them already have some great ideas for kind of community food projects once this program is over. So its program aims is to use food as a medium to build community and encourage wellness, and also to raise awareness of sugar and health implications of BME. So all the practical cooking sessions are all sugar-free, and kind of giving guidance on how to make those swaps. So it's for the BAME community. Marginalised groups are disproportionately affected by food and lifestyle-related illnesses, and the focus is on community building, health and wellbeing, training good food champions, and then giving them support and mentorship. So this is some feedback we've had. So far, I've found the course incredibly informative, thorough, and mindfully delivered. It's truly a gift to be discussing the depths of nutrition and food in a variety of contexts with people who look like me. So we have a partner with Lafayette Health, and they're a platform that supports the mental well-being and physical well-being of the BAME community. We also have myself, Sister and Vegan, and that's where the community education and mindfulness structure came in. And those are the 3 tenets that my social enterprise Sister Women is kind of based on. And we also have ad hoc trainers. So we have some people coming in to do things on food waste and mutual aid. And those are part of the course. So we meet twice a week for 12 weeks. The day one is a workshop for an hour that can be on community, it can be on nutrition and food, or it can be on mindfulness. And then the second session is a 2-hour cooking session, and that's practical cooking sessions. And we have different recipes and different kind of like we play around with different ways of using food. So thinking about sweet things, thinking about working with kids and feeding kids. We have a few mothers in the group as well. And each week as a homework task. It's not marked, but it's given to encourage further exploration of what we've done that week. So it's either a mindfulness exercise, for example, journaling, or a food task. For example, we had them go through each of everything in their cupboards and like look at all the ingredients and kind of get to grips with some of that knowledge. Some more feedback, really useful practical advice I've started to use in my daily life in regards to cooking and diet. The most soul-nourishing 3 hours of my week. I feel like I'm learning skills for life, good food, meditative healing, culturally appropriate discussions, and amazing people. So some great feedback. The program so far, so we're on week 5 right now. So week 1 was kind of intro to food hygiene and basic cooking skills. I'm just kind of seeing where everyone's at. Week 2 was about, we had a workshop on mutual aid and community care and a practical cooking session. We had a nutrition workshop and looking at the Eat Well plate and more specifically at what kinds of things we should be eating and consuming. And then the practical cooking session that followed that was based around that, so looking at different food groups. And we're going to have more nutrition ones, specifically about fiber and specifically about eating plant-based. So not just plant-based, all the recipes are plant-based in this, but we're encouraging the Eat Well plate and lessening meat. It's the same as less and better meat. So then we had a session with Lafayette Health, so a qualified therapist took people through a mindfulness session, kind of breathing exercises and things like that, and then we had a practical cooking session after that. And for the next 7 weeks, with final workshops, and more workshops on food, community, nutrition, and more practical cooking sessions. And then we start the research project, so they'll be supported in researching the topic of their choosing and the themes of food, community, and well-being. So this, we want to keep it local, so it's Lambeth. We want hopefully to find things that are specific to the area, maybe kind of working with groups, established groups already there. And these will be created, documented, so in a video, a written piece, or a podcast recording, so that it can be kind of distributed amongst the community. So all these things that we're learning along the 12 weeks can be kind of documented and shared. They will also be completing their level 2 food hygiene. And then the final event, so Bricks and People's Kitchen have the traveling kitchen, and we're going to have a group cook session and then distribute the food we make to the community. And that's going to be at the final event, hopefully aligning with COVID lockdown kind of ending things. So yeah, do you have any questions? That's kind of a quick snapshot into what we did, but yeah.
Lovely, thank you, Safia. Would you like to stop sharing your screen and then we can see everyone's? Lovely, thanks. That sounds great, and I love the kind of mindful element of it. Does anyone have any questions for Safia? Ellie?
Hi, Safia. Thanks for the presentation. I was just wondering a few questions really on kind of how many participants you have on that course, how you recruited them, and how you keep them on the course for the full 12 weeks. That's it.
Okay, so we have 20 participants. Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah. We have 20 participants, and we recruited through social media and through kind of existing email network. So people from people from Lambeth Food Partnership, all the mail network, we used that, and social media. And we had a lot of feedback from social media that was from people who weren't in Lambeth who wanted to join.
Okay.
So we got most people through going through existing networks rather than social media, because social media people saw it, but they didn't. But it wasn't. We couldn't find a way to make it specific to people in Lambeth to see it. And with regards to getting people to come, so we have a bursary to cover the ingredients, and that's paid after the session, so they can. There's incentive to come to session. And we also have things like a WhatsApp group to have constant communication, and I have a handbook with everything kind of included, but you have to be able to access, for example, the recipes, you have to come to the session. So there's certain kind of incentives, I guess, to come to the session. But yeah, that's to answer your question.
Some really great ideas there. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, Sonia.
I was really interested to hear about the food justice workshop that you ran. And was that your own materials that you compiled, or was that something that was already compiled? And would you be willing to share this?
Yeah, I actually can do that for you right now. Hold on. It is, so we have,
So like for
oh God. So I'm just, it's actually, I put on a Black Vegan Festival in February, and we had a conversation there with Dee Woods and Ashley Kamazuri about community care, food justice, and mutual aid. And so the workshop was derived from that talk, and that talk is now available for everyone to listen to. And it was a really great talk, kind of that really is very clear about defining these terms, and mutual aid, food justice, and community care. What are they, and how do you practically engage with them? So that's there, and there's another conversation from that event that I'm going to put out as well. But yeah, so the workshop was derived from that that talk that happened in February. So yeah.
Great. Thanks, Xavier. Does anyone else have any questions at all? Nina.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, that's really exciting, Safia. And we're actually working on something along those lines as well, with a cooking tutor we recruited as a consultant. And he's trying to come up with this new innovative online cooking club format. I think he'll probably have a lot to learn.
I really hear you.
Oh, that's sad. Anyone else having issues hearing me?
I can hear you okay.
Yeah. Okay, well, I'll ask my question and then I can put it in the chat as well. The question is basically, in terms of teaching online, do you have any resources that you can recommend that help you prepare this, or did you do it from scratch?
I did it from scratch.
Okay.
I will say I use Canva to make presentations that has lots of different kind of templates and photos, like free photos to use. You can use that to make presentations. I use Zoom. I think that things like this, you know, they do lend themselves better to in person, because you're able to be in the kitchen, you're able to meet each other. But lots of people said that being online made it more accessible, or more likely for them to come back, because all they have to do is log onto their laptop. So I think that it is good to always, you know, have that option. But I guess, yeah, just figuring out how you would usually do it in person, and then kind of, yeah, finding a way to translate that. So I think presentations are always good, and also kind of fitting in different things. So like we had breaks where we'd have exercises to do, and so I would get them to like think about all of the food rules that they've learned about, and just think about that, so that they don't have to always be on a screen, or watching videos, or like just kind of breaking up a little bit, so you don't have to just be like a lecture on the screen. Because the thing about this usually, or cooking classes usually, is that it's very interactive and very kind of dynamic. That's why people want to come. People aren't very don't want to be engaged, but they seem to, because we do different things each time as well. It seems to be, so maybe that kind of, you know, breaking up what you do each session is helpful. But yeah, I think finding somewhere like Google Slides or Canva is really helpful in kind of getting that presentation together.
Thank you.
Great. Thanks, Sophia. Any more questions for Sophia? Lovely. Well, thank you. That was really, really interesting. And I'm sure people, you might get some questions sort of as time goes on if people are starting to think about something similar. So thank you for that. So we've got about 15 minutes left if we want to use that 15 minutes. And as I said at the beginning, the plan was just to kind of leave this open for anyone that might have a question or a concern or just some thoughts that they wanted to put to your peers, to each other, that you might want some answers to or signposting. So we'll just do it on a sort of hands up basis. Is there anything that anyone's got at the moment that they want to sort of raise into this space now? Hi, Tejal.
Hi, I had a quick question just around how to get sort of like probably around procurement and catering and getting the NHS involved. So I've been asked to support our NHS Trust in terms of their hospital food and drink strategy review, and I think it's probably a really good opportunity to sort of bring in what the partnership can do to support them. But I just wondered what's the best way of getting the NHS involved, and are there certain people within the trust that I should be keeping an eye out for to sort of link with?
Thank you. Sonia, have you got a response to that?
Tejal, where are you based?
So I'm in Buckinghamshire, so very close to Oxford, Northamptonshire.
Okay. It's just that, I mean, up in the north, we're working on like a procurement project through the Urban Agricultural Consortium. So we're working, I mean, like Lancaster have, Rachel in Lancaster's done some great work on procurement, and Mark was in the meeting the other day as well. So I mean, so we're looking up at north, but there's like a southwestern pilot that's going to be happening shortly. So there is like sort of looking at procurement and getting smaller producers engaged in, you know, more local food engaged in procurement. So you might, yeah. Do you have anything else you want to? Do you have anything you want to add to that, Mark? Maybe Mark's not available, but Rachel Marshall at Lancaster Food Partnership, she's been doing a lot of work around that.
That's great, thank you. Thanks.
Has anyone else got anything to add around procurement? Layla, hi.
Hi, it's not about procurement, sorry, it was just a question.
No worries.
I was wondering actually.
Sorry, Layla, hold on just 1 second. Joe, do you have something to add to Tejal before we? Sorry, Layla.
Good luck, I think is the biggest thing that I would say. We have been trying for years and years and years to try and we thought we'd kind of, you know, we've even had a colleague in public health that have been embedded within the NHS Trust, and they've decided to pull it because it's been going absolutely nowhere fast. And I just hope that that's ours and not sort of across the board, but brace yourself and don't get disheartened, I think is the biggest thing that I would say. However, one thing that we potentially is as way-ins, we've got a local business that collects, you know, and puts food through anaerobic digestion. So that's a possible way in, you know, by providing them with opportunities to save money. It can always add to your credibility to kind of, you know, and then get your foot in the door. We tried to go through our sustainability officer for the NHS Trust, and we thought we were making inroads, but he wasn't the most influential person in making all those kinds of decisions. They got these whole things sequenced, I think it is, or something like that, and so in theory they should be absolutely bending over backwards to kind of, but it doesn't seem to be, because they're huge, great, massive things and decisions, and food is, yeah, local food, yes, but it's local to Wales, where it is kind of made and then packaged up and then driven all the way up to, you know, and so it's kind of, yeah, so brace yourself, don't get downhearted. That's my biggest thing, but I don't want to put a dampener on it, and I would love to hear that something is changing, and then really do shout about it and try and then influence other NHS trusts to change. I mean, I did, by all accounts, because we've got a big one at James Cook University Hospital, but you know, smaller sites maybe have a bit more autonomy over what they can actually do and how they can actually do it. But unfortunately, none of those sites are actually in Middlesbrough itself, and so we can't sort of jump on that and kind of ride that wave. So,
Alex, I'm just hearing from Desiree, who wants to come in on this procurement.
Yeah, before we go back to Leila, Desiree, thanks, Joe.
Hi everybody, me again. A couple of things on that. We're focusing on procurement in the local authority at the moment. We're actually using ourselves as an example. We're looking at where we buy from, and is that local? But in terms of your NHS or your health board trust or whatever it might be, it's a really difficult area, and I would suggest where we found it most helpful is actually finding the subject that they're interested in. So for example, obesity is one of the things that they're most interested in at the moment where we are. So we're currently discussing that with them. Also, finance and funding, if there's funding available, is linking up for partnership funding. So it sort of maneuvers them in, if you like. Really is a difficult area. And I hear what was said with the last speaker about transport and various other things. So, and also I think with the fact that we've worked in silos for so long, it's a long-term shift. So policies are coming at it from two strands. So there's the local, if you like, and the subject area, and the who's pulling the strings. Slightly different in Wales, as we know, because we're a devolved government. So we'll just let that lie there at the minute, and then we'll, there are different options in different areas. So who's pulling your strings, and is that something that you can pull into your partnership maybe? I don't know whether there's local movers and shakers within the political strand and then the larger political shifters. So procurement is a real interesting opportunity, the public plate particularly. And the other thing that we're looking at the minute is nutrition in schools. So whilst we're wanting the local trust to be on board, and they're not yet, less dare I say it, is we're actually looking to ourselves and then using that as a pilot and saying, look what we've achieved.
Brilliant, thank you.
Observations, just observations.
Great. Yeah, great tips there. Thanks, Desiree. Nina, I just want to check before we go back to Leila, is your hand up for a continuation of this or a new question?
Yeah, it's an answer to Teja.
Brilliant, thank you.
So we managed to, and when I say we, I mean Hannah Fenton, managed to get the Oxford University NHS Trust signed up to Sugar Smart, I think 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah, it is, yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
And I'm not exactly sure what that, how that worked. That was before my time, but it could be useful for you to talk to our contact there. I don't know to what extent they're linked to your local NHS trust, but she may be happy to have a chat and give you some advice. So let me know if you want to be put in touch, or Hannah may have already told you about that story.
Yeah, she's mentioned a name. I'll just check through my emails and see.
Yeah.
But thank you so much, everyone. That's brilliant.
Great, thank you. Really good. Over to you, Leila.
Yeah, for Tejal as well, I know that in West Northamptonshire, which is actually quite new, like yourself, we are dragging in public health team, especially regarding obesity, and then the links with NHS. And also, I have set up a subgroup meeting, which is the hospital. They have a climate change policy, and they are very interested. And Claire was saying that how can we, bring food into this matter, whereas actually they already are. So we are hoping through their climate change policy, we squeeze in food, because food is directly related to climate change stuff. So that's our hope for this area. And my question was like same, but not procurement. Generally speaking, is there? It's just my ignorance. Is there any SFP in the country that's completely embedded in and supported by any council. I'm not aware of that. Is there?
Only us.
There are quite a few, Leila, who, I mean, about a third of our members are employed by, you have the coordinator employed by the local authority. So it is, they might not be full-time, they might be part-time, but the public health team is generally the place that funds people mostly, although occasionally it can be economic development or sustainability.
Yeah, Robin is hoping and thinking to bring in the new West Northamptonshire Authority. Yeah. So there's a bit of, because otherwise I personally, I'm not sure how this West Northamptonshire is going to carry on. Because he's going to semi-retire. My contract is finishing at the end of the month, so that's why I'm asking that. But
yeah, well, we can give you some examples of, like I said, there are quite a few case studies that we could share with you of places that are funding it.
Yeah. Thank you. That's it.
Okay. Great. Thanks, Leila. Okay, so I think we'll go to Sonia. We've got about 6 minutes left just to make you aware. Go for it, Sonia.
I was just going to say that my role is partially funded by public health, economic development, and like poverty alleviation within the council. So it's cross-sectoral, like cross-departmental within the council. We have Emma Strachan from public health is like a core member of our partnership, and she's just always doing stuff inside to get things moving. But then we've also, the director of economic development or climate change. I mean, she's eating, well, no, not eating out of our hand, but we have a very good relationship with her now. So, we've been at it years, but it happens.
Great, thank you. There's some great chat going on in the written chat as well, in case you're not on there. Any other comments for Leila or questions? I think we've got time for one more. Hi, Ollie.
I think one of the things is when you're going out searching for those people to get involved, also give yourself a limit, because I know in Greenwich I've only recently joined, but the partnership is very public health heavy. And because it's mostly public health, they want to take ownership of the whole project. So you have to be very careful to make sure you've got the right mix and not just grab people because you think, they're the one that you need right now. I think that's what's happened in Greenwich. So now when we say, okay, we're going to look at food waste, they go, we've got somebody in such and such that already looks at that. And we go, but it's not really public health. This is more environmental. And so, yeah, just be very careful in weighing up the balance, I think, is the key thing.
Brilliant. Thank you. Thank you. That was really, really helpful, and a lot of really great information there. I think you all probably already know that in terms of future questions, there's the Rise Up group, which I imagine most of you are on, where you can sort of put questions out to the network. We're also developing peer-link, peer-to-peer learning program that's coming your way soon. But if you do have any questions, obviously you can bring them to the next coordinator catch up or get in touch, and that's questions for each other or the SFP team. So I think, unless there's anything else, and any AOBs or anything else anyone wants to raise, is there any last comments from anybody? No. Okay, so what would be really great, we've been chatting a little bit about the return of face-to-face events as sort of lockdown is, or we're sort of emerging from lockdown. It would be really, really useful for us. I think everyone is different. Everyone's got their own level of comfort around this. And I know, living in somewhere like Brighton, where we have a lot of people flooding to the city now that we're allowed to move and the sun's out, and it is overwhelming suddenly, emerging from this hibernation space. it would be really lovely to hear from you. So as you sort of say goodbye and leave this chat room, if you're able in the chat, just to put I guess on a scale of 1 to 10, how comfortable or how, let's say, how important face-to-face events are for you, face-to-face workshops and events. I'm gonna make this more complicated. Okay, so on a scale of 1 to 10, how important it is for you to meet face-to-face? 1 being really couldn't be bothered, and 10 being like, I need this. Okay, so that's how important, 1 to 10. On a scale of A to D, how comfortable you feel? So A being, oh, I really don't feel comfortable about this, and D being, yeah, I'm fine. Let's do this.
Sorry, comfortable about what? Face to face or?
Yeah, meeting face to face events. Coming out of lockdown and doing face to face events. So 1 to 10 is how important it is for you, and A to D is how comfortable you feel about it.
And D is very comfortable, is it?
D is, yeah, very, very comfortable. You can have a look at everyone's as they leave. It's interesting. Really interesting. That's great. Well, thank you. Yeah, it was really, really lovely to meet you all and see new faces and hear what you're up to. And we'll be sending around the next coordinator catch-up invite in about 4 weeks' time. So thank you, everybody. Really good to meet you.
Thank you.
Bye.
See you soon.
See you next week, Sarah.
Yeah. Bye. See you next week.
Bye. Bye.